Welcome back to my channel, guys. I know it has been a long time. Okay, let me tell you, I already recorded this video last week and then I finally found the time, sat down to edit it. What happened? The sound was messed up and I was like, no, are you serious? I really recorded my birth story for 30 minutes. I was so proud that I got it done when baby was sleeping, which is not always the case, to be honest. So if I find a window where he actually sleeps and I can do a YouTube video for you guys, and I'm so happy and so excited. And yeah, somehow this new mic that Roman got me for Christmas didn't work. I think because I put this, how you call it, this puff that is actually for outside when it's like windy. I put this around and I think this just didn't really work here with the quietness of the room. I don't know, guys, but yeah. Here I am, finally finding the time. Let's see how long we got. I put him down like an hour ago and yeah, so far he actually sleeps very well at night, so knock on wood. very well. I only have to get out like 1 to 2 times, so that's really amazing. But throughout the day, I don't know, especially in the morning, he really has a hard time to find back to sleep. He's so tired, but he just, I don't know, he just doesn't find back to sleep. So I really have to rock him and then put him down again, and he wakes up and I rock him again, and then I have him in the carrier. Yeah, but I can't really, talk to you guys with him being in the carrier here in front of me. So yeah, and then noon is usually the time where he really gets tired again and does a like 2 to 3 hour nap, which is really amazing. But then I also use this time, to get chores done around the house and take care of some stuff like money-wise that I have to take care of now that I'm at home. Yeah, taking care of the baby. So yeah, it has been crazy. All right, I hope this time it works out. I checked the sound twice, so keep your fingers crossed that the sound is amazing this time and that we can have this little birth story chat. So grab a cup of coffee. I have my Starbucks mug with me today. This is actually not the original one, but the one that they're using for a few years now, and I really like it a lot because it's so big. I love a big cup. I don't know about you guys, but I don't know, I could never drink coffee out of a small cup. You remember, like, I don't know about you or your grandparents, but my grandparents used to have these really small coffee cups. That was like the thing to do to drink or zip your coffee out of these, tiny cups. Kind of like the teacups you get when you go to the tea ceremony in Great Britain, but a different shape. And I don't know, the coffee just doesn't taste good in these cups. So yeah, here we are with my big mug with my coffee inside. So get cozy because this is going to be a good one. All right, I want to talk about my birth story. I know there's so many stories out there about like horrible birth, going through contractions for hours and hours on end, not wanting it to end, maybe getting a PDA in the end because you're so exhausted and you just can't handle it anymore. And I want to make a case for good birth stories because, to be honest, I somehow even feel a little ashamed about having 2 very nice, easy, natural births. And I somehow want to change that, to be honest. Why can it be normal to have like a good birth? And with William, I already had a very good birth. I kind of contribute this to my yoga history, to be honest. So I've been, as you know, practicing yoga for, 15 years. I did my yoga teacher training last year, and I will, when I'm cleared by my doctor, definitely continue teaching yoga and also sharing some more yoga and postpartum yoga stuff with you guys, which I'm very excited about. I actually have my doctor's appointment this week, and I think everything will be fine. So hopefully by next week I will start sharing some content with you guys. And I remember also my teacher. So I had a really good yoga teacher in Munich, She was amazing. She actually got me through a very, very rough time in my life. And she always talked about, breathing into the pain. And yoga is a lot about, breathing and really breathing into the parts of your body that are maybe painful. So if you have like a shoulder pain or neck pain, then you're laying down or you're sitting upright and you're steering your breath towards this point in your body that's hurting and trying to release, and actually also steering good energy. Like bright light is what you usually visualize when you do these practices. So directing bright light into the spot, and then with each exhale, releasing more and more of the pain and imagining. Also, there's a lot in yoga is also about, using your mind to imagine stuff, and you imagine to let go of the pain and just breathe it out of your body. And I did this so many times also in a meditation practice and of course the yoga class. And that's what I did in my birth. And then I had my mom, thankfully, who told me that I have to let go. Because what happens, of course, they're called contractions, what happens is that you're actually contracting. So you're gripping onto the pain. What happens when you have pain in your body, then you're usually tightening up this spot in your body or this area. And this is actually counterproductive, because then you don't give the pain a chance to move through your body. This is kind of like emotions. Emotions like negative emotions that we don't want to have, like anger or aggression or sadness, we usually stuff down and we hold on to, and we're like, no, get down there. We don't want to feel it. But you actually, to go through the emotion, you have to feel it. You have to let it come up and through your body, and then you're able to release it. And it's the same with the contraction pain. So my mom told me, each time you have a contraction, imagine to let go, release, because what's actually happening down there is that the birth canal is opening up. Your vagina is opening up to let the baby come through. So what happens if you were gripping onto it, if you're holding on tight, of course it's not opening up, and this just extends the entire birth process. So number one tip, when you feel the contractions, then breathe into it and let go. Imagining it widening down there and just getting and just opening up and getting wider and wider. I think this is also kind of the concept of hypnobirthing. I never really got into this entire concept because I didn't really need it. But it's, you're kind of like using hypnosis on yourself. And that's what I did in my first birth. And it worked very well. It is still painful. I don't want to, sugarcoat it in any way. Of course, it's pain, but it's much more doable if you apply the tips I just gave you. And with William, I remember that the pain started right away, which is also like really, really funny, because I expected this with Leo to be the same, but it just wasn't. So it started right away, and I had contractions like very close to each other. So they were like, 1 to 2 minutes long, and then in a time frame of like 15 to 20 minutes. I don't really remember because I was watching TV, actually a cooking show with my mom when it started. And then I got more and more and more. And with Leo, it was funny because with Leo, he didn't really know if he wanted to come or not. I had my first contractions, I think, on Saturday morning when I went grocery shopping with William and my parents. And I remember I was in the grocery store and I was so overwhelmed. There was just so many people and I felt so claustrophobic at this time, which is very unusual for me. I never really feel claustrophobic. I'm doing very well with a lot of people around me. But at this particular morning, I felt it was just too much, like the energy was too much. And I started feeling some pain down there, and I was like, oh, we better get home. I don't know what's going on. My parents took William, and I got home and nothing. It was gone again. So very, very weird. And yeah, and then on Sunday, I felt some contractions in the morning, so I couldn't really go back to sleep, and I got up and I took a shower and it was gone again. Then we went to my parents' house to have breakfast, and I remember that I felt a little sick, so a little nauseous. I didn't really have an appetite. The only thing I wanted to drink was coffee, which reminds me to take a sip. And then I got a little hungry. I think I ate a bread roll, and it was the first nice day. So we had like a really, really nice weather period. The last week of November and the first week of December. So we had snow, and it was just a perfect Christmas winter wonderland. But then it got warmer and it turned into mud, and it was just disgusting, and it was gray and rainy. So I didn't really have the chance to get out. And I remember when I was pregnant with William, it was still Corona time, and we walked a lot because we couldn't do anything else. Also, he's a spring child, so he was born in May, and naturally weather started to get warmer, the days got brighter or longer, and I just had the chance to get out more. But now in December, it just wasn't possible. Sunday was the first nice day of the week, and we decided to go to the Christmas market because I was like, I have to move things along. I was already 3 days overdue, which is nothing to worry about because you can be like 3 weeks overdue, which is totally fine. I think everything up to 3 weeks, you have to be in observance, of course. But yeah, it's like totally normal. I mean, I always see the due date as just a kind of time to, not like the fixed date to actually give birth, but yeah, to be kind of flexible around it. It can be somewhere around this date. So yeah, we went to the Christmas market. I remember we got there and William wanted to drive a merry-go-round, and yeah, I was sitting there and I was like, now it gets a little painful again. So they started again, and I think they lasted for like 45 minutes or something. And then my parents were like, you want to go to the hospital? And I'm like, no, I don't really feel like it. This is really my advantage. I have a very good body instinct. So I really, really know very well what my body needs in the moment and what I have to do. They vanished again, and I was like, no, let's go home. William stayed at my parents' house again. I was like, no, let's go home. It's not the right time yet. And yeah, then we got home. I lay down and everything was fine again. I still didn't feel hungry. I think hunger crept around like 7 p.m., 8 p.m. and I had a craving for pancakes with chocolate spread. I remember that very vividly. And I asked Roman to make me some pancakes, and then he was like, yeah, let's do Kaiserschmarrn. I was like, yes, that's the Austrian version. I don't know if you know Kaiserschmarrn, but if you ever have a chance, if you're ever in Europe, in Austria, then please try it. It's the best thing ever. And Roman makes a delicious Kaiserschmarrn. You can already see this in my vlog, my last Vlogmas of 2023, where I actually captured everything for you guys, how we made Kaiserschmarrn and so on. I will link it down below, and also you can click on the card up here. So yeah, so he made Kaiserschmarrn. It was so much fun. We laughed and we watched this YouTube video by these really, really funny guys that did like, what was it, like 10 Christmas markets in Europe in like 10 days or something. So it was really cool. And then all of a sudden my water broke. I heard this plop and I was like, whoop, what is this? What's going on here? Because with William, my water didn't break. You know, they had to break it. And all of a sudden everything was wet. So I had to change. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. Should we go to the hospital right away? Should we wait? Because I didn't have contractions at that time. So we decided to call the hospital just to make sure. And they told us if I don't have contractions yet, then I should stay home. As soon as I have contractions, I should come to the hospital. And if the contractions didn't set in for another, 12 hours, so like in the morning, then I should come and they would, have a medical checkup with me. Yeah, half an hour later, contractions set in. So very, very cool. I mean, our body, the female body, is just such a wonder. Even though I already went through a birth, I'm amazed by it every time, to be honest. And they were doable. So we continued watching something, then Roman fell asleep. He was already so tired. And then, I don't know, by 11 or 11:30, I had a little blood in my pants. And I was like, we better go to the hospital now. I don't know, I just didn't feel safe. I wanted to be, in supervision in case anything is maybe wrong with the baby or whatever, that I'm, taken care of, or we're taken care of. So we went to the hospital. We arrived there by 12 a.m. or 12:10 or something. And we went in, and it was this really cool hospital. I can only recommend. So they had a bathtub inside and all kinds of stuff. And they're really, really humanly. It's I like them a lot. And I really, when I was at the first, what is it called? At the talk with the nurses or with the doulas, they asked me how I would like my birth to be. And I didn't really think about it because my first birth was just fine in a bed. But I was would be cool to have a water birth, to be honest. So yeah, and then she asked me again, she was like, do I have any special wishes for my birth? And I was like, I would like to do a water birth. So she let in some water into the bathtub, and she put lavandula inside as well. And it was so nice. She lit a candle, it was in the middle of the night. And it was just such a peaceful environment. And I think this also contributes very well to you having a gentle birth, when the environment is very warming and welcoming and you feel, safe and supported. And I got inside the bathtub, and I think it took 30 minutes before the final contraction started. And then I had four contractions before he was out. The first one is that you start pushing, and it's this really crazy feeling you have to poop. And so if you ever if you are pregnant right now or you want to get pregnant, then know that the final contractions where it's time for you to push, you can't do nothing else. You have such an urgent to push, you just push. And then the second and third contraction were for the head. This time around, to be honest, the head was something. It hurt. The head hurt this time. Leo is much bigger than William. So William was 51 centimeters long. Leo is 54. And William was 2,700 grams. And Leo was 4,000 grams, so 4 kilograms. So yeah, that's a number. So I remember the head being heavy. But once the head was out, it was just one more contraction and he was out, and it was just the most wonderful feeling, which is also strange because with William, it was so weird. The motherly feelings didn't set in right away. I was okay, now I have this baby in my arm. I don't know what to do with it. And I was so overwhelmed and so taken aback. I don't know how to describe it, to be honest. So yeah, if you can relate, then comment down below. I would love to hear your thoughts and experiences with your firstborn. But with Leo, I was so excited to meet him, also because he was 4 days late. I was just so happy to meet him and that he was here, and I was so excited. And it was just joy, holding him in my arms and kissing him, and it was such an amazing experience again. And I think birth is really something. It's such a I don't even know how to explain it to you guys, but it's such a amazing and life-changing, I think, life-changing experience in your life. I don't know if you know this, but most people say you're not only birthing a child, you're birthing a new you. And that's actually what it is, because you realize what you're capable of doing, you know? Putting a child into this world is a wonder, to be honest. And I wish like this birth would be more a positive experience and would be spoken more positively about, because it's really amazing. You know, you can turn it around and you can have an amazing birth. And I think if we put more emphasis on the positive birth stories, then more people would go into this and be like, wow, this is something that can be positive. It doesn't have to be negative. It doesn't have to be a painful experience that drags on for hours and hours. And of course, this will still happen and you still never know what's going to happen. Every birth is different. But with a little preparation, with a little mindfulness, you can actually make it a very, very positive and nice experience for yourself. All right, I already hear him waking up in the back, so I will end the video here. But thank you for tuning in, and please hit the subscribe button below. Also give it a thumbs up. Also leave your questions and birth stories below. I would love to connect, love to hear about your birth story, how your experience was, or like if you have any questions going into birth, then please reach out. You can also, shoot me a DM on Instagram. I always love to talk about this stuff. And yeah, I wish you an amazing day. And what's going on? Oh yeah, what's going to be next? So I'm really trying to vlog, but January and February are not so eventful. So there's not so much going on, and usually our days are the same, taking care of the baby, bringing William to kindergarten, picking him up, making dinner, and then going to bed, cleaning. So there's not so much going on, but I'm trying to vlog some more. And I will also, I think, as I mentioned in the beginning, share some more postpartum yoga content in the future. So stay tuned. Lots of exciting things coming in 2024, and I'm so excited to have you on this journey. And I see you in the next video. Bye guys. Love you.